Hi, this is Kevin with KGM JAM, owner of Pro Advertisers Club, a totally free site to advertise. Go to proadvertisersclub.com and join for free today and start advertising for free. If you haven't heard already, Foster Hilt has been hired as a community communicator for the company Ecomi. That is Ecomi, not Veve, even though they're together type thing. So definitely needed that. I think he'll be good at it. I think they were considering 5 different people, and either any of those 5 would have probably been fine, but he's going to get a chance at it anyway. So basically we can contact him now, and then the company can give information to him to spread out. He'll be like the go-between guy. I guess we're going to find out over the next few weeks here exactly what it is he's going to be doing. But if you're not following him, go do it. It's Foster Hilt. He has a YouTube channel. He's on Twitter, and do all the connections through that way. But good news. It really is. We definitely needed that. DC has on NFT Marketplace is no longer are you able to buy the last drop. It just disappeared. They weren't allowing you to buy more than 2. So let's go to the collection here and see what's going on with the prices. According to DC3 Wiki, it's still not sold out. So I don't know what's going on. That's still got like 700. Is it sold out, not updated? Is it? Here's the prices: legendary, uncommon. This is a Grail comic. To pick it up at these prices is incredible. Take advantage of it. Not financial advice, but this is definitely in the long term, in the big picture of things, a Grail must-have comic. And for me going to this should be in the thousands, and it will be, in my opinion, one day. That it's only 175 of them. But let's go to DC3 and check that out. Okay, here we are. DC3 Wiki. You can go to this yourself and check it out. But let's go to the live drop, which could still be on there. It was as of this morning when I checked. And let's see what they're showing. Okay. Yeah, 729 comics are still left out of the 3,500. And they keep 50 of those, I think. So there's only 15 legendaries left, 60 epic. I'm assuming this is updated because you can't, at least I can't on mine, buy it anymore as of yesterday afternoon. They closed out that page on mine. I got my 2, so it doesn't matter unless they open it up. But if that's true, are they going to burn them? That would be great. Horrifying, but great, because that will make this very, very limited. One of the more limited runs on DC NFT Palm. I love DC NFT Palm, but the problem I've got is they haven't seemed to be doing anything new. They're kind of it's coming across as kind of lazy. Now again, just like I said in the video last night I made, they're working behind the scenes. They're just not communicating that to the public very well, so it comes across that way. Just because I think that doesn't mean that's what's going on. I understand how much work these guys have to put into it. I'm just saying that's the way it appears because of the lack of communication. So maybe they should contact Foster Hilt and make him their communicator too, or anybody would probably be a good thing. Let's go to recent sales. They have been relatively not as busy as Veve, but still selling. And in the last couple weeks, it's picked up, especially on the back cows. And they've been selling, like one went for $6,500. I can only go back 10 days because I don't pay for the you can pay for this to get the last 30 sales. I can only do 10, but it still gives you a good impression. 18th, $3,000 worth, actually more. The 20th, they sold a whole bunch. And then so far today at 5, some bought one. So they're selling like crazy. So let's go to the latest draw. Let's see what's going on there. And they've sold already 1, 2, 3, 4, mostly epic, uncommon, common, but no legendaries. But the amount of transactions they're having is nothing like Veve. Okay, just isn't. But I don't know. I was hoping these DC comics would have stayed with Veve, so it's all in one place. But they're not. They're on DC NFC Palm. And they've done a good job. The utility with the Bat Cow is cool, very popular. And then they just started a new Gotham where you go around looking for clues, but you got to have the Bat Cow to do it. So they're using utility, and they really used it on this drop, because on this drop, Bat Cow holders got the first jab at this comic, but they sold out. So they also allowed people who own Bold in the Brave number 28 and Infinity Wars to get early access, but they sold all out at the very beginning. They had 2 different drops for pre-drops, and then they had one main one. Well, it was sold out on the Bat Cow pre-drop. Then by the time you got to if you're the owner of one of those 2 comics, it was sold out. So it really didn't do you any good, but it was nice for them to offer it. And then open to the public had remaining, it would have been a remaining 2,000, and those only sold 1,300, what it looks like. So I love the way they're using utility, but they've been doing this for a couple of years now. They're not making any new announcements. I imagine they're going to have a metaverse. Could it be on Veve? It'd be nice if they would do that. Are they making their own metaverse? If they have, I haven't heard it, so I don't know. But let's go over and check out Veve collectible on Veve feed, the statistics, and this is yesterday's numbers, okay? And it's for everything, the market activity. So almost 4,000 transactions, active wallets 2,100, 2,200, a lot of mints. They had that drop yesterday. They're having them today as well. Gem sales 65,000. So they're doing much better, much busier than NFT DC Palm. Let's go live and see exactly what is selling. But I have noticed in the last couple of weeks, the commons always sell because of the rares, but if you go look at the secret rares, and these are the collectibles. Let's go look at the secret rares. Those have started selling a lot more, especially like the Spider-Man. I think they've sold like 5 or 6 in the last week. That's a good sign, because some people are probably realizing it's about to get hot, so they're making the jump onto it. This is the Avatar Banshee Secret Rare, 28 minted yesterday. That was from the drop the day before, the Avatar drop. Mogul Grin, we're waiting. They sold 7 of them. We're waiting on the. He's got his own land coming out on the Veveverse, so that's probably going to get even hotter. But that's a good sign. He wasn't selling there for a while. Of course, the pencils are always selling because we're getting ready for the desk drop. If you own all 4 or 5 of the pencils, you get a airdrop of a desk. And there's some speculation that Elsa, the Golden Moment, has a pen sewn into her dress, and that she might be connected to this. There's also speculation that it might have something to do with Disney animation, and at the end of the day, it might just be a desk. So, take it how it is, but it's fun to talk about it. It's fun to think about it. So here's some of the other secret rares. This is all yesterday. This is a pickup in secret rares. Now, there's a lot of secret rares that are very cheap right now. But when you start seeing the Spider-Mans going, you know, the $5,000, $10,000. So they've made like 25,000 just in, or sold $25,000 worth of Spider-Mans just in the last week. Lamborghini Diablo, these are way underpriced because they're going to have a racing thing on Veveverse, they've claimed. But all these vehicles are going to be very expensive. The early ones anyway, the longer they go, the drop more mints. But if you have the early ones, I think you're going to be sitting pretty good. Posters, I'm sure they're going to do something with posters because they're very big on posters. Okay, let's go look at the comics yesterday. See what they sold. This isn't live, so if you have any questions, leave it below. You know, like and subscribe, and I'll get back to you in the next video. I'd love to answer comments, good or bad. I bought this common today for like $3. This Secret Rare is 87. Oh, look at this! They sold 8,000 for a Marvel Comics #1. That's that had gotten as low as 3,500. It's been as high as 70,000. Might have even hit 100,000 at one point. So it's definitely starting to get bought up. Now they've sold 3 of these in the last week. So people are starting to perceive or think something's coming, and they're starting to stock up on this stuff. So a lot of secret rares are selling. Most of them. X-Men #1 sold for 600. That's way undervalued. It's going to be a 2,000 to 5,000 easy. Okay, let's go to live. Let's see what they've done so far since 8 o'clock last night on the secret rares. Avengers Unplugged, that's the drop, so they're still minting on that. It did not drop. It did not sell out. Oh, let's see. Amazing Fantasy. Sold one of them. Several of those have sold. That's a secret rare. It's only 10,000. I was thinking that was 1,000. No, it's 10,000. You see what I mean? You're starting to see a trend of the higher ends being bought up, which means the big money people are seeing something that probably we don't. I mean, all of us think it's about we're at the bottom. It's eventually, you know, the halving coming up. But anyway, it's a good sign. I use the secret rares as a gauge. But you can always go to Veve feed and then go to statistics. It even tells you like the top wallets. If you're so inclined to look at that, if we can get over to it. I don't know who most of these guys are. I've had some interactions with Mr. Rolex. A lot of us have. I see him on there all the time selling stuff. OMI, let's go see what the price is. Now, it had really plummeted. It was under 6 yesterday. And it's back up to 60802. And somebody had started posting on the Twitter that one advertisement for a game that's coming on Veve, because at the bottom of it, it told you all the exchanges that you could get OMI on, and it's not true because it's not on any of those exchanges except 2, and they're real hard to get. So, was that somebody trying to pump the OMI and by spreading that around again? Are they eventually going to be on the exchanges? Yes, I believe they are. Absolutely. They're just not ready to do it yet. And that's their reason. I can't tell you what it is. I'm sure it's a good reason, but they're not on there. Now, the Forest Hill news, I thought, gave it a little bump. So that was a good sign. It pushed it up above 6 last night, and I attribute that to the announcement that Forest had gotten hired. So if you get a chance, go over and check out Marvel Unlimited. It is a digital comic site, and the difference between this site and Veve is that you can also buy these, and download them and stuff, and read them just like you can on Veve. The difference is the ones on Veve are actual NFTs. This came out way before Veve. I want to say 2012, maybe a little bit later. And I'm a annual member. And if you're an annual member for the last 2 years, they've sent you a code that enabled you to turn it in for a comic on Veve. And the problem is that very few people turned in the code. For what reason, I don't know. They might not like NFTs. I've talked to comic people. A lot of the physical comic people don't like NFTs yet. And so they either ignored it, didn't see it, or threw it away. But anyway, what that's done for our side of it is made them extremely rare comic books. Less than 1,000 issues, even though they put out maybe 3,000 codes. And they expire like all the other codes. So if you go over, and I'll show them to you here in a second. When you go over there, I think they're going for like $600 a piece, $600 to $800, and they'll only come in the common edition. There's no uncommon, rare, secret rare. So that's different. And they're kind of like the drops they did from, not the New York Con, but the one before that, where they just out of the blue dropped like 3 or 4 comics that were just common. That's it. And 1,000 of them each. And those all got turned in. And so there's 1,000 of those mints. But on these two, anyway, the point I'm making is go sign up and join, and you can read. They've got a mobile app, so you can read it on your phone or you can read it on the computer. And it's got the comics, even got the advertisements in it from. So basically, they just took a comic and scanned it. Is all they've done. But they even give you the new comics, so you can go back and read their comics back from the 1930s, or you can read their newest comics minus 6 months. And what I mean by that is they're 6 months behind the new comics, so that the stores who are selling them have 6 months to sell them before you can read them on here. And so once you catch up, every week I think they do it, they update it. If you would just catch up and stay 6 months behind, you're going to get, it's going to be like their new comics to you, and you just catch up that way. And they're usually posting all, 18, 20, whatever amount of comics they are producing that week. But you have to be an annual member to get this. And I think it's still $99 for the year. When you join the annual membership, you also get a box sent to you that has 2 or 3 comics in it that are only found in that box. And it's actually just the covers. The actual comic, though, you can get elsewhere. Then they usually have a figurine in one, some type of figure, usually of what's going on, like Miss Marvel was this year's or past years. Then they give you a pin that's collectible. Pins, collectors are fanatics. And yeah, so you get that. So it pretty much pays for itself if you flip that. But then, now I don't know if they're doing it every year. They've done it for the last 2, just out of the blue. And it usually happened in February or March is when they would mail it to you. So I would go check it out. You can try it out for free, as you can see right here. And if you like reading comics, then this is the way to go, because they have all of them on there and they're putting on more every day. Now, Veve at one point talked about making it that if you read your comics on Veve, it was going to depreciate it. I hated that idea. The whole point I buy an NFT or read a digital, or the whole reason I invest in an NFT is I don't want it, like in the real world, to get, because you read it, it gets less valuable. That's the last thing I want to happen. Some people want that. I don't. But think about it. It would hurt their sales. If you got a comic that's $1 million, why is a guy going to invest $1 million in it on Veve if it's just going to go down in value, because the longer you hold it, the less valuable it becomes. It's a bad idea to me. That's my opinion. Excuse me. And I'm glad they did not do that. Now, let's go over to Disney Plus. And as far as their movies go, I started reading Marvel Comics back in the 70s, and then I stopped when I got out of high school, or actually when I went into high school. My first year is the last probably comic I read until I got into truck driving. And it was like 2014, I came across Marvel's Unlimited. And because we sit around a lot, getting unloaded, waiting to load, it was the perfect app for me. And I started reading comics again. And by then, they were making the Marvel movies. And if you're a fan, you pretty much, you're going to find things wrong with all of it, because you're going to go by what you felt was going on, or the perspective from you. But I'll be honest, I've liked everything they've done, and it's all different because of different writers, different producers, actors. And yeah, then you got the woke agenda that's been put in, which I think, I don't know why that needs to be in there. They can just participate. Like, I thought they did it very well in the Eternals, where they had a member that he was just part of the team, and it wasn't the focus. It doesn't need to be the focus, I guess is what I'm saying. It needs to be, the focus needs to be on that they're heroes and they're fighting good and evil. They save the world, that kind. Keep it simple and make it for everybody, not just for a small group of people. And again, this is just my opinion, but they're doing what they're doing. But anyway, I'm getting off point here. I like Captain Marvel, the first movie, and now the one that just came out. Did it have its flaws? Yeah. Did it maybe not go the way I wanted it to? Sure. There's things that I felt I would do different if I was in that sort of power to do so. WandaVision was definitely way out there, and I struggled with it, but I see what they were doing with it, and I like it. She-Hulk, they used to do that in the comics, and so they tried it. And again, there's a lot of people out there that are just hating on it, and I don't think they understand what's going on. And I'm going to try to explain it. So anyway, back in the 70s, when you would read comics, they had a timeline already, and they could jump around in the timeline because if they wanted to, that's what they do. But they would, at the beginning of the issue, would say, this story takes place between issue number 17 and 18, however they wanted to do it. And they were always moving writers around and artists. So you might get a run of comics for half a year that is just incredible, because they had the best writers and the best artists on it. But then they would move them around and put other artists and writers on that because it was doing good, and put it on the comics that weren't doing good at all. And so you got a lot of, like you are now in the movies, a lot of different stuff. Sometimes weird, sometimes out of character. But it's the timeline with the way they're doing it, because I hate. There's two kind of movies I can't stand anymore. It's time travel and zombie. And guess what? I think we got a zombie one coming from Marvel. But they are doing the time travel, and I love it. I love how they're doing it, because it's going to enable them to explain why everything is in the different studios. You can just blame it on the multiverse war that happened, that you saw in Loki, that just finished up. And that was brilliant, how Loki ends up being the caretaker of the timelines. I thought it was absolutely done wonderful. I loved Eternals. If you listen to the YouTube, you think a lot of people don't. I thought it was done very well, but I was an Eternals fan in the comics too. I love the Celestials. I'm glad they're tying it in. I'm glad they didn't shrink them to small little people, because the Celestials are giant, giant creatures. They're like the size of mountains. They were in the comics. And I hope they don't do that to Galactus. I hope Galactus says he's as big as Celestial. In fact, I think he is one. It changes here and there, but I hope they don't make him a cloud like they did in the Fantastic Four movie. Okay, but here's the point I want to make that I'm trying to tie it all into. So you got the, if you go down here, where is it? They got the timeline. I'm not going to pass it. Character clip featured. Okay, they're not showing for some reason. When you get into this, they got in order. You can watch every. Hold on, I think my internet's messing up again. It comes in waves. Anyway, you know, it's got a timeline, in proper timeline, where they put it in order for you. So if you just start watching the first one, it'll play them all. Yeah. It's really getting buggy. Okay, my internet froze up on me again, so I was able to reboot it, and I had to close that page out. Anyway, so the point I'm trying to make is that just like in the comic books, every movie is going to be different in some way, shape, or form just because of that. They're trying to do so much that you're going to have different writers, different directors, different agendas. And once they get their act together again, I think it's going to be, you know, for a lot of people. But I'm enjoying all of it. So I'm not one of those complaining, because I think I'm a little bit more understanding of what they're trying to do. Nobody has seemed to like the Marvel movie, but one thing they're not saying is that because of Disney Plus now, people are just waiting for it to come on. Since they started Disney Plus, their movies have suffered. That coincides with COVID and then Disney Plus. So why are you going to go spend the money at the movies? You can just watch on Disney Plus a few months later. So I think that's hurting the movie ticket sales. Another thing I can never understand about the movies is, if you're making a movie for $300 million or $200 million, and then you spend $200 million in advertising, why? Just make the movie, drop the advertising, and let YouTube take over, because they will either be liking it or hating it. Either way, that's free advertising. And the $200 million you save from advertising will go and pay off what you did to make the movie. And if you just sell one ticket, you just made a profit. Now, the people in advertising hate that idea. I understand. And that's another thing about the movies, how many people they employ. If you've ever been on a movie set, they've got carpenters, painters, food people, cleaners, wardrobe, hairdressers. It's just not the movie star, camera people. It's a whole economy in itself that is tremendously good for the economy. Movie making is tremendously good for the economy. It gives a lot of people jobs. But I don't know. I don't know why you would spend that much on advertising when pretty much it gets advertised for you for free. Everybody knows about Marvel, and everybody knows when the movie's coming out, and they all start making videos about it. If I was them, that's exactly what I'd do. Just an idea. Not that I know anything. Anyway, please like and subscribe. If you get a chance, go to proadvertisersclub.com. Check it out. It's free. free to do so. And leave a comment. If I can get it worked out to where I can actually stream, I would have been streaming this. But I can't right now because I have to do an awful lot of pausing and backtracking just to get it to work. So I'll be at another location soon that has, maybe it will prove to me whether or not it's the internet. And if that's the case, then that's fine. But it might be my computer, because this is a very cheap $75 Chromebook. And I checked out. This should run it fine, though, what I'm trying to do. It should handle it no problem. But anyway, thanks again. Have a nice day, and I will talk to you later. I might have had the music too loud.